Oh, cool. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Nice to be in the Magic Bus, the hippie
Thank
van.
you for volunteering. Do you mind if we do a little hippie story episode and air it on my YouTube channel?
Absolutely, no problem.
Woo! So this is Barry Adelman. I just want to introduce you to the world. Most of the world around here knows who you are.
No, not that many
Oh,
people
yes,
know
they
me.
do. And I'm going to just highlight. Would you like to share with the folks about musicforhumanity.org?
Well, musicforhumanity.org is an organization that I started along with Kurt Ermiter, my co-founder, back in 2005. So it's about 18 years old. And we raise money for music scholarships. We give out new instruments to local school districts and many other things. We spread more music. That's what we really do, because music is so important for all of us. Connects us, our hearts, our souls, via music.
So once a month, I think it's the third Saturday of the month,
Yes.
from like 7
7:30 to 10.
till 10, you feature like 3 or 4 artists in a row.
Two or three
in a row.
Right. At Noble
At
Coffee Roasters.
in
Noble
Campbell
Coffee
Hall.
Roasters in Campbell Hall. And this particular one, which is the third Saturday, is July 15th. We're going to give out $16,000 worth of scholarships, music
Wonderful.
scholarships.
And that's from a year's worth of savings, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
you know the raffles that I sell?
Yes.
That's from last year's raffles and other donations. People do just give us money.
Yeah.
They make donations because it's tax deductible.
So once a year you do this, would you say?
Once a year we give out the scholarships. Once a year.
And who helps you do that? Pick.
I'm not on the scholarship committee, so we have 3 people. We have Charles Mockelshoff is the chairman of the scholarship committee. I have Kurt Henry, who will be playing on July 15th with his wife Cheryl.
I know them very well.
They're very
Great people.
excellent. Yeah. So Kurt's on the scholarship committee for I think the 2nd or 3rd year, and Maxfield Panish, who was the first.
I remember him. I came to see him.
That's right. You
and
did.
I videoed him.
Yes, you did. He was the first grand
was
scholarship winner.
violin.
Yes. Now he is on the scholarship committee.
Wonderful.
So those 3 are really going to decide. But we've got 24 applications
Wonderful.
this year. We've whittled it down to 18. I asked each of them, give me your top 10. So that only eliminated 6 people. And the next week they're going to get back to me and get it down to 5 people, because we give out a grand scholarship is $7,500. The runner-up gets $4,000. Then there's Music for Humanity David Crystal Scholarship, which is named after my best friend who has Alzheimer's. That's a $2,500 scholarship, and then there are 2 honorable mentions for $1,000 each. That adds up to $16,000. But I have to tell you, this is an amazing group of applicants who all deserve scholarships. The only way we can give them all scholarships is raise more money for next year.
Wouldn't that be nice to at least give something to everybody who applies, like in the end,
That would be nice. Yes.
So we can dream big, right? We can
Exactly.
dream.
We want to give every person who applies a
Anyone,
scholarship.
right, who's a musician, they have to be enrolled in college.
They have to be a music major in an accredited college or university in the United States. So although we are a local charity, we're also a national charity and an international charity, because we have given scholarships to kids from other countries that have come to study music in the United States. That's
Wonderful. I just want to, this warms my heart. How much do we need healing through music, right?
Oh,
And here we're sharing hippie stories, which is a big congregation of over 400,000 people who came to this area in a weekend.
Yeah.
And that healing, loving, supportive, peaceable gathering of music and the wonderful artists who change the world with their music, as does pretty much every musical artist, right?
Yes.
So, and you are a songwriter, Barry.
Yes.
So, we can share original music with permission. So,
Oh,
do you mind
I do
sharing one of yours?
the Woodstock
here?
song?
Tell the folks about the Woodstock song.
Well, the Woodstock, I was there 50, how many years ago was
54 years.
it? 54 years ago I was there. And then 49 years after that, I went to a house concert in Warwick, and this group was playing Woodstock by Joni Mitchell live in the house. And I said, they were doing a great version of it. I said, wow, I was there. And I got a jolt of energy down my spine. I said, oh, this is going to turn into a song. And I went home that night and I wrote this song called I Was There.
Okay, and Barry, please remind me when you're done to share your Woodstock story.
I will.
Because I don't want to forget, because I'm so
Yes,
excited about hear your song, I might forget.
They came from the north. They came from the south. They came from the east. They came from the west. They came for love. They came for peace. They came to unite. They came for release. And I was there. Oh, I was there. And for all it was worth, together we created a little heaven on earth. We left our families to join the tribe. 'Cause at home we were dying, struggling to stay alive. But once we arrived, our hearts open wide, and we could share our love, share our souls. And I was there. Oh, I was there. And for all it was worth, together we created a little heaven on earth. We shared the moon, we shared the sun, we shared our light, and for one brief moment we became one. We shared the stars, we shared the night, we shared the music, we soared in flight. And I was there. Oh, I was there. And for all it was worth, together we created a little heaven on earth. Yes, I was there. Oh, I was there. And for all it was worth, together we created a little heaven on earth. Yes, for all it was worth, together we created a little heaven on earth. Woo. Thank you.
So beautiful. Very fun. You want to
Thank
put
you.
your, you feel like
Yeah, put that way.
your guitar there? Get
Now the
comfy.
story. You want to know the story?
Yes, we totally want to know the story.
Well, the story started the day before Woodstock
Okay.
when I was driving.
Wednesday?
No, that was Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
When I was driving a taxi in New York City, and I was wearing, my buffalo sandals and my cut-off shorts and a T-shirt, and I had longer hair, and I was a hippie, and I was driving a taxi that summer in New York City, and I stopped for a fare, and 4 people got into the cab, 1 person in the front next to me, 3 people in the back, and they were going to, I remember where I picked them up, the Holiday Inn on 57th Street and about 10th or 11th Avenue, and they were going a short distance to a Mexican restaurant, no more than 10-minute drive. So we started talking about Woodstock right away, and I said, yeah, I'm going to go tomorrow, and we were talking, and we pulled up to the restaurant, and the 3 people in the back got out of the cab, and the guy in the front was paying me, and he said, well, if you get there tomorrow, look for us. We'll be on stage. I said, oh, who are you? He said, well, we're really nobody, but that's Joan Baez. And I looked out of the cab, and there was Joan Baez standing outside on the street. And I said, oh, hi, Joan. The guy in the front had actually asked me if I wanted to come in and have dinner with them before I knew it was Joan Baez. But I said no, I didn't feel like changing my mind because it was Joan Baez. So I didn't. And I said, I got to work, but thank you. And then I drove up the next day, and I drove up by myself. I didn't go with anybody. I knew where it was because I went to summer camp for the 2 or 3 years before that at a place called Camp Mahoji, which is still there. I think it's a different name now, but I think it's still a camp. And so when I remember I was going over actually the Wurtsboro Mountain, I was doing about 80 miles an hour, and I saw this state trooper coming up behind me, and he was doing about 90, but he flew right past me because he was going up there. I didn't realize that at the time. Finally, I got off on 17B, and of course, first of all, there was the traffic in the one direction was stopped, and then everybody went on to the shoulder. Then everybody went on to the other shoulder.
Around 104. Around 104 exit?
Yeah.
17B.
Yeah, 17B.
You had gone off the exit.
I'm on. Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm on 17B now.
Okay, so
yeah.
Now you're noticing this scenario.
Yeah, this thing. And now finally, if anybody was coming the other way, they would have to get off the road. So I knew all the back roads because of my experience of being at that summer camp the previous 2 years. So I went on the back roads, and I got to within like probably an eighth of a mile of the stage. And I just parked the car there, and I went and I sat in the crowd of 400,000 people, and I waited for the music to start. And of course, it started with Richie Havens, and that was a magical performance. Everybody should watch
Freedom?
That. Freedom. Everybody should watch. Go to YouTube, type in Richie Havens Freedom, and everybody should see that at least once in their life because it was truly magical. He made that song up on the spot.
I remember
you know that
reading that. Yes.
because Michael Lang, God rest his soul, and Richie Havens too.
Yes.
Michael Lang kept sending him out to play more because they didn't have anybody else to play yet.
Yes.
So finally, he played every song he knew. He went out there and he looked over the crowd, and the word freedom came into his head.
Beautiful.
And he made that song up right then and there. So that's really my Woodstock story. I did stay around that night. I did hear Joan Baez was the closing act that night. I did hear Joan Baez play at about midnight, maybe. And then it started raining. I had no tent with me, no nothing. So I said, let me get out of here. So I was really only at Woodstock for one day. But I got the best of it, as far as I'm concerned, because I didn't go through any mud, really. And people told me if I had waited another day, I wouldn't have even been able to leave.
That's what I was going to ask you. How
So-
was it getting out?
Not too bad, because I knew those back roads.
Yeah.
So I was able to navigate my way out. I don't remember having any difficulty doing that. And the end result was I was there. And you know, those
Wow.
things happen. I mean, I really paid for tickets. I think they were
Yeah.
$8 a day, $24 for the whole event.
Someone earlier said $6 a day, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe 6,
I have
maybe
to
8.
revisit that.
But in any case, it became a free concert. I didn't mind that. I paid
Yeah.
for my tickets.
Yeah.
And you never know when you're going someplace. This was a really spontaneous event
Yeah.
in human history. And I was happy to be part of it for that one day.
Thank you for sharing that
Yeah,
with us.
Great.
May I ask you some follow-up questions?
Absolutely.
So when you said you went to summer camp, do you remember what town the camp was in?
Well, right near
In
the
the town of-
event.
So it must have been in Bethel, somewhere in
Yeah,
that neighborhood.
yeah. Camp Mahoji,
Okay.
within a mile. It was within a mile, I would say, of the event.
And when you traveled up and you got off the exit,
Yes.
okay, what was you said there were cars stopped. I assume the traffic slowed down. You had a slow ride.
I went a little ways down 17B, and then things started to slow down. And I saw people on the left shoulder, the right shoulder, and then
What time of day was this about?
this was probably about 2, maybe, I don't know, I can't remember whether it was 11 o'clock in the morning maybe 12, maybe 1, something like that.
So it's around 12:01. You're
Yeah.
driving down 17B,
Yes.
heading towards the site.
Yes.
You're noticing the scene.
Yes.
And how did you? What did your soul feel as you're?
I just felt, wow, this is a big thing happening. And this is an amazing congregation of people coming from all over the place. I didn't know the extent of it at that point in time. But then I got to the site, and I remember all those people.
When you got to the site, whereabouts did you end up situating your car?
Well, my car, I was only, like I said, maybe an eighth of a mile from the stage.
So you
on a
found a
back
spot
road.
to pull
Yeah.
over and park,
Yeah.
and then
And
you
then
hoofed it.
Then I walked. Other people were walking miles.
Yeah.
Where they left their car
Yeah.
on 17B, they had to walk 4 or 5 miles, maybe longer, to get to the site. I had to walk 5 minutes.
So as you're walking, what were some of the things you recall? Maybe conversations or sights or visuals?
I remember getting to the site. I remember seeing people in the pond, naked, men and women naked in the pond.
The one on the left of the stage area there?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one by, right.
Whatever, as you
Yeah, I
walk
remember
there.
that.
And then I remember a bunch of more. I remember talking to a guy. I was saying to him about his motorcycle. That's a really cool motorcycle. But he didn't like that I was looking at his motorcycle.
Oh.
So he kind of like said, yeah, the concert's up there. Not too friendly a guy.
Yeah.
But I remember that. And then I got up there and I kind of situated myself amongst a lot of people.
Whereabouts were you on the field?
I was back. I was probably at least halfway back.
Halfway back.
Yeah. So I don't think you'll see me in any of those pictures.
And were you standing, sitting?
I was sitting. People were passing around water. You know, there was no threat of COVID back then.
Yeah.
We all shared.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
And it must have been just a wonderful energy, I would imagine.
It was a wonderful energy, and then it wasn't. I don't remember it being too hot. I remember it being warm, but I don't remember really being uncomfortable. Although I was a lot younger.
How old were you?
I was 20 years old.
20.
Yeah.
Wow. So you took in some concerts. You heard Richie Havens.
Richie Havens.
Who was that? What else do you
Joan
remember?
Baez. And quite honestly, in between those two, I can't. Nothing stands out that I
Yeah.
can actually remember.
Yeah.
But
Well, a lot of people don't remember their experience. They say part of the experience is not remembering it because they were like, whatever.
I remember a lot of announcements from the I forget who was running the crisis center there.
Yeah.
It became like a whole city.
A little city. It was an instant city,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
400,000 people.
Yeah,
The town
yeah.
had to create actually that day in the town of Bethel building, you know, there was a typewritten flyer created to address the issues, and the only way of communication was from announcing it or handing out the flyer and posting them up to address water, sanitation, safety,
No cell phones,
bad trips,
yeah,
good
bad
trips,
trips.
stay away from the brown.
Right.
I did an actual poster of it, so I have it in the government center.
Cool.
So anyway, that's interesting. You know, you have to respond to that, right? For
Yeah.
safety, right? To be
Yeah,
responsible.
it was quite an event
There's
because
Steve.
nobody got hurt really during the whole event, so that was nice.
That was awesome.
I think somebody was
It was
born.
an accidental
Somebody was born
tractor
there.
situation.
I
Someone
wonder if
slept.
they're still alive.
I don't. If they are, they're not claiming. They're not saying who they are. And there was an accidental death with a tractor under a
Oh, there
tarp.
was?
Someone
wow.
slept and didn't know, and
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I didn't know about
So just to clarify with everyone, could you tell everyone where we are right now? How we meet? Where we're meeting?
that. Oh, we're meeting in Rock Hill, New York, outside of Steve's Music Center, which is right over there.
We love Steve.
And we love Steve, and Steve is a really great guitarist who has accompanied me on that song many times at Dutch's down the road here, where we go on
Monday night.
the first Monday of every month. We meet at Dutch's and we have an open mic, and it's really great. So and maybe I'll play this song. Yeah, I will when it gets to August. I have to play this song in August.
And before COVID, it was every Monday night for many years.
Yes,
So we all are a nice, very embracing musical community.
Yes.
We go and travel and support one another in open mics and fundraising events and various things. So
Well, you're the only one that I know of. Well, you and one other person who'd come down from Sullivan County to Orange County.
I'm a sucker for music.
To the Music for Humanity event every third Saturday of the month. And I really appreciate
And
that.
thank you for having me as a guest a couple times.
Yes,
That was really fun.
But you also took a great video of Maxfield that time.
Yes, I did. I remember that video.
Yeah, that's a great video.
They were all wonderful events, every one of them, and I wished I could have been to all of them, but yeah. But you do what you can, right?
Exactly. No, you've come more than anybody else. I'm very thankful about
Well, thank you. And Jim does a great job at sound.
He does.
He's a wonderful,
Yes.
perfect sound man. So we
Yes.
appreciate the sound guys.
Yeah, the sound guys are very important.
So, how about just what are you feeling now? Going into the 54th year later.
Well,
What's your thoughts about this area, Woodstock, just general, anything?
in general, Music for Humanity wouldn't exist without Woodstock. If I had not been to Woodstock, I don't think that would have happened. There were two things that happened year after year. The year before Woodstock, I went to Carnegie Hall, and I went to a concert with a bunch of my buddies from college. I was 19, and we were going to Carnegie Hall. I didn't even know what we were going to see. It turned out we were sitting in the last row of the balcony. Seats must have been $3 or something. And we were there for a full-blown version of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which I didn't know anything about. But if you've never heard it live, I highly recommend you go to hear it, because it's truly amazing. The best thing you could do now is you can go on YouTube and you could hear Beethoven's Ninth conducted by Leonard Bernstein when the wall in Germany was coming down.
The Berlin Wall fell.
Yeah, when after the Berlin Wall fell, Bernstein went there and he had a group of musicians from 5 different countries, I think, and they played that. And that's an amazing video because you're really sitting in the orchestra at some time with the musicians.
Check that out, Barry. Thank you
it's
for
amazing.
telling us.
Truly amazing. But seeing it live, so that what happened is, there I was, and it was over, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and I realized that everybody in the audience was like literally glowing from the music that was infusing them, that had just infused them, and it was like, wow, what a high, what a high.
Yeah.
So I left there, and then of course the next year, I went to Woodstock, and a different music, but there's the same feeling of being infused by music, and music bringing us together. One in a very small setting, only about 2,500 or 3,000 people, and one with 400,000 people. But the end result was the power of music never left me. And then in 2005 is when I heard the voice said Music for Humanity, which it's either my inner voice or God's voice, whatever you want to say. And that was the beginning of Music for Humanity.
Wonderful.
Yes. And it wouldn't have happened without Woodstock, I don't think.
Thank you for sharing all of that.
Thank
And you did bring some flyers here.
Flyers,
so
yeah.
let's talk about this
is-
event, August 26th.
This is the Complete Unknowns, which is a tribute band to Bob Dylan. They do Bob Dylan really well. You'll hear every word. They put their own twist on it, but they do it with great respect, even reverence.
At the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center,
Sugarloaf
7
Perform-
p.m. Or
Eight
doors
p-
open 7 p.m., 8 p.m. start.
That's a Saturday night, and there's plenty of great seats available right now. So if you want to go see, hear the music of Bob Dylan, this is going to be a great
And
event.
you are presenting this.
We are presenting this. It's kind of like a fundraiser for us.
Wonderful.
I mean, they are getting paid, the musicians,
Yeah.
but we're doing this to try and raise some money so that we can give out more scholarships, like I said.
Right. So they can obtain tickets on musicforhumanity.org.
Yes, they can. They
Wonderful.
can, yes.
Well, here it is. So check
Here it
this
is.
out. And
Check it out. Zoom in
thank
on
you.
it.
I don't know. I have so many. I would love to go on forever and ever, but
Yes, that's okay.
I appreciate
you having me
coming here, meeting me.
on the hippie van.
Yes.
And for the hippie stories. Because
And
I was a hippie.
you'll be
There's
the
no doubt.
4th video uploaded.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And I had the same little voice for 5 years. Oh, I've been wanting to do this, and I just started it 3 days ago. So
Wonderful.
it took me a while to get it together.
Wonderful. You did a great
I was
job.
afraid of the technology. Truth
Oh
be
yeah,
told.
it is.
You know,
it is.
dealing with
It can
technology.
be daunting.
But it's okay.
You're doing it. That's good. Thank
I
you.
watched a video, and that pretty much helped it. So,
Thank you.
any parting words?
My parting words are peace and love, because that's what we need in this world.
And
We don't need more business people, more politicians. We need more music ambassadors. That's really what Music for Humanity does. We help support music ambassadors who will go out into the world and bring us together via music. That's it.
peace, love, and music.
That's it. It really
What
does.
more do you need?
It's beautiful.
All
Thank you,
right,
Debbie.
thank you. Much
Appreciate it.
love. 1,
Thank
2,
you.
3.
Thank you.